do my normal little intro statement about. Well, okay. Hello, everybody. This is Dominic Palmer, the Superintendent of Merrick School District. It is Monday, July 13th, 2020. This is the district's annual reorganization meeting and board meeting. It is being recorded and simulcast on YouTube.
Good evening, everyone. We would like to call the meeting to order, please. So if everybody would please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so is Clarice doing this, or you're doing this?
You are doing it.
I'm doing it.
And the book over, the bottom book has the oath. Clarice, you, open your mic, please. Make sure we're, doing this correctly.
Okay, are all the board members present? Because I can't see everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's I'm glad you brought that up. Very good point. For the community members out there, because we are socially distancing, the camera spread on our camera in the boardroom can't get all the board members in, but all 7 of our board members, including our newest board member, are present. And one of the first things we have to do is swear in all the people who are recently elected or re-elected.
Okay, Clarice, I'm going to go to Jill first.
Okay,
Sorry, socially distant. So I'm saying it, or Clarice is saying it? We should come to you.
You're saying it.
I'm saying it. Okay, so Jill, please repeat after me. Should I do all 3 of them at once? No.
You go.
I will
When it's your turn,
the
get up,
Constitution of the
so
United
that
States. I, Jill Levine, do solemnly swear.
I, Jill Levine, do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of New York State, State of New York.
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of board trustee.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of board trustee.
Congratulations. You should really stand.
Yeah, why don't you meet in the middle?
Okay, I'm gonna go to Nicole. You're gonna come to me?
Yep.
Stay right there. Okay. Nicole, please repeat after me. I, Nicole Venditti,
I, Nicole Venditti,
do solemnly swear that
do solemnly swear that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of board trustee.
the duties of board trustee.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations. No.
Oh, first mistake.
Nicole, when you get a chance, turn around.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations,
Good.
Nicole. Thank you.
Okay.
This is not for you.
She's fine. Yeah. I, Butch Jamali,
I, Butch Jamali,
do solemnly swear that
solemnly swear that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of
board trustee.
Board of Trustees.
She just close that out there and sign for yourself. Thank you. Congratulations. All right.
Okay.
So now I would like to, say that it's been a pleasure to serve, as the board president for the past 2 years. And, I really appreciate all the support from everyone. So now let's just move on to the election and the reorg of the election of officers for the Board of Education. I would like to nominate, for the board president, Board of Education, Nancy Kaplan, and vice president, Jill Levine.
Should we do it one at a time?
Yes, do them one at a time.
Nancy Kaplan is the board, president,
I
I
second
second
it.
it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. Congratulations, Nancy. And the Vice President of the Board of Education, Jill Levine.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So I'm gonna move this. Nancy? No, it's just a position. Okay, I'm moving. Jill, Nancy, scoot. I said it already.
Clarice,
Yes.
do we do any signing or oaths or anything differently?
No.
Oh, that was just,
Chris, you agree?
Typically, you do another oath of office for the president and the vice president. That's what most districts do.
Let's do one.
So it's the same oath, except instead of trustee, it's as vice president and president of the board.
oh, the same oath.
Instead of trustee, it's the
Oh, okay. Nancy?
Yes.
I, Nancy Kaplan,
I, Nancy Kaplan,
do solemnly swear
do
that
solemnly swear that
I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
as,
as president of the Board of Education.
okay, thank you, congratulations, Nancy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jill? I, Jill Levine,
I, Jill Levine,
do solemnly swear that
do solemnly swear that
I will faithfully discharge the duties of
I will faithfully discharge the duties of
Vice President of the Board of Board of Education.
Vice President of the Board of Education.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sigal, and thank you for your years of service as president. Very much appreciated, and a hearty welcome to Nicole. Good to have you here, and good to have Jill and Butch back. Thank you. Thank you. So we will start with item 5 on the agenda, appointment of officers, which we've done, and setting of salaries. Motion to approve item 5.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion to approve items 6A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, and J.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have nominations for representatives to the Belmore Merrick Central High School District Board of Education?
Yes, I would like to nominate Gina Piskin and Nancy Kaplan, as our Board of Education.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a nomination for representative to the Nassau Suffolk School Boards Association?
I nominate Nicole.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, congratulations, Nicole.
Thank you.
Nominations for voting delegate and alternate to the New York State School Board Association Annual Business Meeting.
I nominate Linda.
Me and Linda.
Oh, Sagal and Linda, right.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Nominations for legislative representative.
I would like to nominate Linda.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nomination for the Board of Education Policy Committee.
I would like to nominate Jill Levine, Linda Wilk, and Nicole Lindy.
Is there a second?
I
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Nominations for the Board of Education Audit Committee.
I nominate Nancy, Butch, and Sagal.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Gina, you're gonna be the alternate?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Motion
Just,
to,
just an alternate. Right.
oh, is there a motion for the alternate?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve items 6Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, that's it.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are there nominations for representatives to serve on the district safety team?
I'd like to nominate Nancy and Butch for that, please.
There-
Butch is the alternate.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion to approve items 7, 1, and 2, 8, 1 through 9. Item 9, 1 through 7.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion to approve minutes of the Board of Education meeting on June 9th and June 25th.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the treasurer's report of May 2020.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion to approve the claims audit report of May 2020.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion to approve statement of paid claims of May, June, and July. Are there any questions first?
No.
Okay, motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That brings us to our first hearing of visitors on items in the superintendent's report.
Okay. Go to the view so we can see people. Jill, there was nothing in the email?
No, there's nothing.
Okay, and community members, I believe you're probably all want to talk about Babylon Road entrance to the school, correct? Anybody want to talk about anything in the superintendent's report? Okay,
Okay, thank you. Motion to approve items 16, 1 through 12.
Before the board does that, we didn't put, a bond report on, I'd have to ask Jim to give us a short report.
Can we do that
You wanna
before
do
the,
that?
yeah, we'll do right after the motion.
Okay.
Part of
All
administration.
right, Jim, hold, we're gonna do it out, a little bit later down the line.
Okay,
So motion?
second,
Wait, what are we motioning?
we are motioning items 16, 1 through 12.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that brings us to administration. Would you
Okay.
like to do the James
Sure.
Bond report here?
I do also want to point out item 12 that was just approved is the appointment of David Seinfeld as our interim principal of Chatterton, to cover, when Dana goes out on leave.
Great.
When is he starting?
He is basically started already, but there is overlap and he'll, continue until, Dana returns.
And if he's watching, welcome back, Mr. Seinfeld.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Mr. Seinfeld.
Okay, all right, Jim, you're up.
Good evening.
Good evening, Jim.
My bond report for July of 2020. The Chatterton edition now has classroom door locks. Classroom telephones have also been installed and will be programmed by Core BTS. I have asked the architect for the certificate of substantial completion so I can proceed with the fire inspection, after which I will apply to the State Education Department for a certificate of occupancy. JNS, who is the heating contractor, is working on starting up the split unit air conditioners throughout the district. Locations of these units include areas such as the principal and assistant principal's office, room 7 at Lakeside, and numerous others throughout the district. Chatterton's extended school year program is reaping the benefits of the new unit ventilators, which are providing cooling. We are running the AC systems district-wide and notifying the contractor of any problems we discover. Polaris Electric and PSEG did a primary power switch on the telephone adjacent to Lakeside on Charles Street. United Paving Corporation, who is the contractor doing Birch's site work, has removed the old asphalt, sidewalks, and curbs. They have laid out the new designs and installed new curbs and a significant amount of sidewalks. They continue to remove materials such as asphalt walks and the basketball courts in preparation of their replacement. Landtech is the site contractor at Lakeside. They are also removing sidewalks. They removed the guardrail and have reopened the Charles Street gate while the front is being worked on. When the front has progressed significantly, staff will park in the front while the contractor does the administration lot. Arrow Window has installed the protective window film on all classroom windows on the first floor. By the end of the month, they will be doing repairs to all of the classroom windows. Windows requiring replacement are a long lead item, actually 16 weeks. And their should be ordered once approved by the architect. Classroom casework bids at Birch and Lakeside were opened, and the Board of Education was asked and has rejected the bids. This request was from administration, the architect, and the construction management company. This work will not happen this summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Do we have an estimated opening date for the Chatterton addition?
I don't have a firm date. Once I get the certificate of substantial completion, I can update the superintendent.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to approve items 16, all of student services 1, 2, and 3, and 5, 1 through, yeah, it's 1 through a lot. 1 through 37, thank you.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that brings us to our second hearing of visitors, and I know that we have some visitors. Welcome to our meeting. We wish that we had you here in person, but thank you for being able to be with us through the technology that we have. So, who's up first?
You could select anybody
Okay.
who raises their hand, I guess.
All right, who would like to be heard? Okay, I think that's Margaret Marr. If you could just state your name and your address for the district clerk.
Brendan, you have to unmute her, please.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. My name is Margaret Marr. I live right down the block, 9 Babylon Road. And the reason why I actually contacted Mr. Palmer is because we have a lot of issues with the road as it is. And we've been trying to get Charles Street open for quite some time. When I moved here 34 years ago, Charles Street was open. And then it closed. And we've been having 100% of the traffic on our block, which is a nightmare between the buses and all the cars, or I should say huge SUVs, actually. It's a nightmare. You cannot get out of your driveway when I'm going to work. I already had my mirror in my car, the mirror sideswiped, that fell off. When it rains, it's even worse. And I spoke to Mr. Palmer about this because when I found out with all the construction that's going on every day, that you were adding more parking spaces, and he told me that Charles Street was opened, I said, we need to keep Charles Street open from now on. We cannot handle the traffic on this block. This block is a very narrow block. So you have 2 cars parked on either side. You have somebody coming in and out. It's a nightmare. It's just, we can't do it. And we're basically tired of it. It's just long overdue that Charles Street needs to stay open. I know you closed it for the 3 spots. That's what we were told years ago. Then when we were told that the fire trucks couldn't get down Charles Street, so they had to close it, which didn't make any sense to me anyway, because they would come down Babylon Road anyway, where the fire trucks or the firehouse is. So it really made no sense. What we're looking to do is alleviate some of the traffic on this block. And it's awful. That's all I can tell you. It's awful, and you need to help us.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Is there anybody else that would like to be heard?
Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
Oh, take a second for us to, yeah, there you go.
And if you could just state your name and address for the district clerk as well, please.
Sure. Carrie Hickey, 15 Babylon Road, Merrick. It's a tremendous amount of traffic on the block, yes. I knew it moving in, that I was moving onto a school block, so things are slightly different for me, but it is become such a safety hazard on the block with all of the traffic and us being the only way into the school. At the end of the school day, one of the gym teachers will usually physically stand in front of the entrance to the school to block not just parents, but a lot of the teachers and administrative staff from coming back out but do not enter. I personally have almost been hit twice walking and picking kids up from the school. I also had one of your main administrators actually almost T-bone me coming down my block because they didn't stop at the stop sign. It's a little scary sometimes. It's, you know, I've got a 5-year-old and we have more children actually moving onto the block. We've got a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, and another 12-year-old moving onto the block. So now it's more of a safety hazard. I'm scared for my kids. Like I don't let my little guy out on the front lawn because I'm afraid that somebody's gonna, you know, really quite frankly, you know, run him over. It gets a little scary on the block. We've had people that have hit each other because they're not paying attention coming down the block. I have had 2 people actually drive up my front lawn. One of them has actually hit my neighbor's house. It's been a lot on the block, so we could really use some assistance in, if not alleviating some of the traffic, some help with safety.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for bringing that forward. Lori Belbo, hello there. Hi, Lori, please state your address for the district clerk, please.
Hi, Lori Belbo, 14 Babylon Road. I just want to support what my neighbors were saying. I think the district has to acknowledge that in September, when we return to school, that there's going to be an increase in traffic because parents are going to be hesitant to put their children on buses. So if school opens, as we all hope it does, we are going to see an increase in cars coming down this block because of parents' concern for their children. So I think the district has to consider some alternate ways to handle that increased traffic flow. So if Charles Street is your answer, or staggered times of arrival, but I really think that the district needs to anticipate that increase. It's already bad, so now it's going to get worse.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Anybody else want to? Okay, thank you. The board, you know, definitely will take your comments under consideration, and we'll communicate back. Oh, somebody else?
Bonnie wants to talk.
Oh, hi, Bonnie. Where's Bonnie?
Right there.
Bonnie, if you could also please, when you're off mute, just state your address for the district clerk. No, you're still muted.
Hi,
There we are.
Bonnie Morrissey, 11 Babylon Road. And nobody has brought up the issue with the construction. Obviously, it has to happen. I get that. And over the years, we've worked together on numerous situations. I've been here 35 years, and the school district always has tried to help us every way they can, and I appreciate that. But my biggest concern with Little League right now is watching the cars pull behind our street backwards, turning around. Besides that, they're taking all our parking, even though they've been asked not to. So we come home from anywhere, my husband from work, the store, there's nowhere to put your car, and we live here. Besides that, that's secondary to me to watching the dangerous situation of how they're turning around with their kids running around on the road. The last thing any of us want to see is somebody get hurt or worse. So I was hopeful that maybe we could come up with a plan to kind of force Little League to follow the rules. If they don't follow the rule, if they've been asked to park by the pond or at the gap and walk over, they maybe should lose that permit. I would ask that maybe you consider that if the rules can't be followed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, that brings us to reports of Belmore Merrick Central High School District Board members.
So, we have a meeting tomorrow night. As our district is, every day we are in communication with the superintendent, trying to figure out everything that's going on. We are up to date, you know, I wouldn't say up to date, but they are working very, very hard to put together plans. They do have a summer program in place. What is that one called?
EIY.
EIY. what is the family?
The special education
But
program.
no, the.
Oh, the instructional program.
There
The
is
instructional
a summer instructional program for students that were having a harder time in the spring. It's going great. There's a huge participation, hundreds of kids.
And
have
many
signed
sixth
up.
graders, moving up sixth
A lot
graders.
of them are sixth graders that have joined this instructional program, which I think is very good. I mean, I think there's 600 kids that are enrolled in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing very nicely. And just rest assured that as the Merrick School District is, the high school district is also preparing for all different possibilities for the reopening of school. And tomorrow night is our Board of Ed meeting, so we will have more information for you at our next meeting.
And I know that, you know, the community knows you could always reach out, you know, to any of us, but certainly to Gina and myself. And I don't like to wish congratulations too early, but Gina will become president of the high school board tomorrow night. So congratulations in advance.
If you don't mind, I'd like to just say a couple of words to both of you, in regards to the high school district. I was one of many parents who was able to witness the amazing job that the high school did, for our children for graduation. And, we could have been like many districts that did parades and car parades and whatnot, but I have to say that I was absolutely beyond moved and appreciative of everything that you as a board made sure that happened, and that the administration up there did. These kids it was better than anything I could have ever expected. I tear up just thinking about it. It was
It's great.
absolutely amazing. So I personally sent an email, to the administration up
Yeah.
there, and, of course, Mr. Onberg. So, I just wanted to thank you both and the entire board, because it was really unbelievable. So
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you for
that.
that.
They do. You know what, we are really fortunate in that, you know, we have administrators here, on our elementary level that take this all very personally.
Yeah,
And certainly that's true of the, you know, central administration and building administrators. You know, they were adamant and, you know, creative in trying to figure out how best to celebrate. And for those of us, there were 18, you know, graduations that took place over 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, for families at home, there were 3 cameras at every one of those graduations, and that was all being broadcast by the Belmore Merrick students in the broadcast program. So it was, you said that, right. So it was a great team effort, and, you know, certainly there are things that, you know, we will look back on, you know, this year with, you know, some regret. But we hope that the students felt the love.
They did. They did.
It's important.
I can say, my son at first was like, oh, I have to wake up, because he was the first session. And when he got there, he said, this was awesome.
That's great.
He was so touched, and for
That's nice.
him, I can tell you, that's a lot to say. So I just had to just.
Great, very nice. Thank you for that. Thank you. Legislation.
Well,
What could be going on,
What
Linda?
could be going on? We do know that the, State Education Department and the Department of Health have put out broad guidelines about opening school, none of which that we can definitively come up with any action at this point. And we're looking forward to more guidance coming down from the governor's office in particular, and then again, from these other 2 agencies. And Dr. Palm, I'm sure you may have something more you want to say about that.
I just want to comment on the legislation piece, and then I'll comment
Yes.
on the reopening. The other thing that we're waiting to see if the federal government provides any funds to support states and schools. You know, we can't lose sight of the fact that we are still under the threat of losing 20% of state aid to schools. If the federal government doesn't backfill the gigantic hole in the state budget, it is quite likely that we'll be hearing from our governor's office soon to say that there's going to have to be some cuts across the board in the state, including aid to schools.
Thank you.
And if that comes down, that's gonna be hard to swallow as we take on some very significant costs we're working towards reentry.
I mentioned it last time, but I'll mention it again. I urge every resident to please write to your federal government, to anyone you can think of in the federal government, asking them to please fund education.
Okay, all right, thank you for that. Reports of board members. Anybody else report?
I just want to say, along the same lines as Sigal and Linda, but on a lesser, my daughter graduated from MAM this year, and their graduation, or moving up, whatever they call it, was phenomenal. And as we were driving out, I even said, this is my third graduation from there. I actually said to the principal, who literally was standing right next to the car window, I said, I think I actually like this better than I like the other two graduations. And she laughed. It was the most personal thing. And I think that's one of the things that has come out of this whole awful experience the last several months, is that everybody has had to be so creative, and some very positive, personal, special things have come out of it. And I think in education, it really has shown in some of these ways.
And to that point, I think we did that here too. We're talking about high school kids, but I really do. I heard from many parents across the district that we really, the parades, and the
Teachers.
the special,
Teachers going out.
they really, I think as a district as a whole, even going up, we've really done the best we could and become very creative in these tough times. So a huge thank you goes out to this administration, and of course the teachers, the sixth grade teachers, and all the people that put all those things together, as well. The PTAs were very instrumental in all of that as well. So I think that that's very important to recognize as well.
My daughter graduated from sixth grade at Birch, and we had so many events to go to, and it was a sad few months. But the PTA, speaking of the Birch PTA, they had a parade. I think we passed her house, and we.
Yes, I was out there.
The kids were out of their sunroofs.
It was great.
She
It
was
was great.
smiling more than I saw her.
It was
3
great.
months.
Yeah.
So you had to graduate from sixth grade Birch? I did. So we had the graduation.
It's hard not to have the regular graduations, but I hope it was.
I know, but you know what she said when we were in the car? She said, we would never have done this.
That's
This is
true.
the
We're gonna
most
keep
fun
some of
I've
these
ever
things.
had.
Yeah.
So,
I think
We're
we
gonna keep
learned
some
a
of
lot with those fun
they
special
really
things.
went out of their way. There was a roving DJ
Yep.
taking us through the neighborhood, and
Yeah,
making
it was
sure
great.
in the park. It was outstanding.
It was
Lots
great.
of great novel ideas that came out that would have
Yeah.
never happened
Yes.
before.
Right.
And
So
we'll,
those are the silver linings, I think, right?
Exactly, exactly.
all right, so that brings us to a little bit of new
New business?
business, a little bit of new business. Before I do kick it over to you officially, you know, the superintendent will talk about the variety of work that's being done to plan for, you know, the opening of school. We have all sat in on subcommittees, and what's remarkable about it all is, you know, the administrators, the number of teachers, the parents, you know, all of us that are, you know, engaged in trying to figure this out in the best way for our community. So, you know, a really hearty thank you to all of the staff and the TAs and, you know, the parents and everybody who's giving time to make sure that we do the best that we can, you know, for our community. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. So with that, I'll pass it over for, you know, an update on all that's happening.
Okay, so, probably since I would say early June, the administrative team has been having some pretty heavy discussions about what it'll be like when we reopen school, in September, and it seems so far away at that point. A couple weeks ago, we initiated a committee, format, and we brought in over 70 members of the staff, including administrators, teachers, teaching assistants, aides, custodians, clerical personnel. We also invited into committees parent representatives, so each of the PTAs from the 3 buildings and the SEPTA have representation in the committees, and we formed 10 subcommittees to look at really every aspect of returning to school. We're planning in 3 broad arenas. One is for a full reopening of school in person. The other is for a full virtual school. And the third is multiple variations on blended models. Our goal really is to get back here in person in school, but we'll be ready for any scenario. The hallmarks of our planning is safety first. That's both safety for our children and our staff. We are also looking to pay very careful attention to the social emotional learning and the mental health of everybody involved. These have been very difficult months on our children and our staff, and we expect the reentry to also be difficult. So that's a piece that we're keeping in our mind all the time. And then, of course, once we're here, we really want to reinvest back in the academic development of our children. Unfortunately, these have been certainly not fully instructed months like the kids would have got if they're in school. A lot of things have been happening in the last couple of days. Last week, the governor made some announcements about how things would roll out. First, I must say that the final determination of whether school is live, virtual, or blended will come from the governor. This will not be a local decision. The governor will tell us what he's going to do. He was on TV today giving a little bit of an outline. In addition to what he said today, the New York State Board of Regents was meeting, and in advance of that meeting, they put out a document summarizing some of the things that they were going to talk about that has a little bit of guidance. Then, someplace during the middle of the day, the New York State Department of Health put out interim guidance for in-person instruction at pre-K to grade 12 schools during the COVID-19 public health emergency, and it's interim guidance. We also expect on Wednesday, the State Education Department to put out further guidance. All this together, we will use as we move forward in the various meetings to make our plans for the fall. In the next couple of days, the community will get an email from me, same very similar things to what I just said. In addition, we're setting up on our website a place where we're going to put the meeting minutes for each of the subcommittees. So as soon as we get that technologically worked out, and hopefully in a day or two, the community will be able to go on our website and see the minutes from each of the subcommittees. So that's what we're doing right now to move forward. One of the things you'll see in my letter is I state that there'll be lots of rumors. Please don't listen to the rumor mill. When a plan is worked out, we will work out the plan and put it out there. Along the way, there are also going to be some steps taken to get some more input from parents as we move forward to it in the process. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Are we gonna have these up on our website?
We can put those up.
Yeah. Can we please, so the parents can see it if they're interested?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you.
And hopefully when the
for that
state's
update.
guidance comes out on Wednesday, we can put that up. Additionally, one of the things that the governor said, and it seems that the Board of Regents is saying the same thing, is that they are going to require school districts to submit plans via a state education department portal, and we'll have to respond to plans for those 3 different broad models that I talked about: live, in person, virtual, and blended, and we'll have to submit that up to the state education department. The governor indicated that his decisions about how school will lay out will be made based upon health data in the first week of August, and that by around the 9th of August, he would make the final determination of whether we would be in school, virtual, or some blended model.
Okay, great, thank you. Bush, you had a question?
Are we taking any measures to get ourselves ready in the school itself? I know malls and large auditoriums have to use those special filters, MERV 13 filters. And it might be great for us to even look into them now before we can't get them when we need them a month from now.
So we're going down that road. Most of our our classrooms won't need something like that because our air is not recirculatory. So in your most business settings or in your house, you recirculate the air because it's more energy efficient to do it. One of the hallmarks of the state education department, if you recall when we were going through this with them planning the air conditioning, is the huge volume of fresh air that has to be pulled in. So the air is less recirculatory and more fresh air being pulled in. So the classrooms, which are all brand-new AC units, will be pulling that in. There are some locations that Mr. O'Byrne is looking into where, that may not be the case, and we're looking at the filters in those areas. And like you all know, anybody who's been in this room during the winter, you all complain how suddenly it gets freezing. That's because the fresh air is being dumped in from the outside, and the heating system doesn't really keep up as quickly in this older system. But that's basically a standard in school. But there are some spots that we have to look at more carefully to see if they're covered.
That was the whole thing with the malls, they couldn't open up without that.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other questions? All right, any old business? No? All right, so then I'd like to make a motion to adjourn into executive session. Our next meeting,
We have a contractual matter discussed. That's your reason for executive.
yes, executive session, contractual matter. Our next board meeting, what is the date?
August, come on,
13th
somebody
is
help me
coming
here.
to mind, but I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, it's 11.
August 11th is our next Board of Education meeting, but certainly the community will be getting communication before that, so.
And, unless the governor extends the order for virtual meetings, we may wind up being, at a live meeting at that point. So,
Okay.
as you might have seen, at the last minute, this was extended, but August, it runs out before our August meeting.
Yeah. Okay, all right, great. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Jill, Sal, Jennifer, please hang in there. Chris, thank you.